Hi, I'm Dan, and welcome back to the Rock Nerd Radio Show here on YouTube. I've been taking a look at all of the X-Men 97 Wave 2 Marvel Legends figures, and today we're going to take a look at the new Jean Grey figure, but we're not going to look at her by herself. No, we're going to compare her to the Love Triangle Jean Grey figure and see if we can't figure out which version of Jean Grey might be the better one for your shelf.
Come geek out with us on the Rock Nerd Radio Show.
Well, let's get right into it on this edition of Which is Better with our first round, the paint and overall appearance round. And, I gotta say, the Love Triangle Jean Grey, which is over here, it looks like a comic Jean Grey. It has the extra bit of paintwork here on the side of the legs. It has the belt, which, it's not molded on. It is free-floating, but that's fine. But, it's got her shoulder pads. It's got this extra patch here on her hand. It has the wrist gauntlets, which do move along with the hand, which I actually kind of like because it leaves the hand being just all flesh tone, which I'll talk about more in a second. I think the only problem I have with this figure is that the shoulder pads don't move, so you kind of, when you move her arm, these don't move with it. You kind of have to move her arm around them. But not the worst thing in the world for me. I really like the head that I have on this figure and the way the ponytail kind of sits and just looks on the figure. With my X-Men 97 Jean, speaking of the ponytail, this is its own piece and it can actually come out, so you can have like a very short-haired Jean Grey if you want, or you could have the ponytail kind of flown, whichever way you are posing the figure and you feel like there needs to be wind blowing or something. Again, it has the patches, but see, with this one, first off, her wrists get real thin, and the bottom gauntlet piece is painted on the hand, which leads to a blue peg on the palm of all of her hands, which kind of looks a little unsightly. This is like my ideal X symbol with the big black kind of X letter on there. I don't like the kind of inverted colors here, so I don't love the belt. It is molded on, but that leads to some other issues we're going to talk about. She doesn't have the gold part on her leg. She has all this extra detailing on her leg, or on both her legs, and I'm not really sure why that's there, because I was watching the original cartoon, and it's not there in the original cartoon either. So maybe this is something new for the new cartoon, this being a cartoon-based figure, but honestly, the 97 Jean also looks just a little smaller than the Love Triangle Jean Grey. So because of that, I'm giving round one the paint and overall appearance to the Love Triangle Jean Grey. She just looks a little more, I'm just going to say, better to me. The second round is about these figures' articulation, and the Jean Grey from the Love Triangle pack is on a single jointed elbow style female Marvel Legends body, but has double jointed legs, rotation here at the leg, at the calf. Legs kick up, they kick out. She's got everything you'd expect. She has the ball joint on her hip, which allows for at like the ab crunch section, so it allows for her to go way back. She can go forward with that. She can go left and right. She can turn. And, really, all right, so there's no joint at the ponytail here, but the head is on a ball joint. It still moves. She has pretty good articulation. Honestly, aside from just, not having a ball joint, or I'm sorry, a double jointed elbow, this Love Triangle Jean Grey still has some great articulation and still moves very well. The Love Triangle Jean Grey, she does have the double jointed elbow, which lets you put her arms up really, in a deep bend like this. I don't know if I'd ever really need the character to pose like this. It's nice, but she has this inverted ball joint that some figures have been sporting lately. But because of the belt, she can't really go that far forward with it, or she can get back with it. She can kind of limbo, but I think because of the X belt, she can't really go that far forward. And her left and right, it's there, but it's not. I wouldn't call it the greatest. And she can spin, but when she does, now you kind of have this unsightly gap, around her body, which looks a little weird. And yeah, the ponytail can move. I'm gonna discount that though. Everything else is the same as the other Jean Grey. The only other additional piece would be that these elbow pieces do move when you move her arm. So that's not terrible. It's actually kind of nice, but maybe not necessary. So really thinking about which one of these articulation I like better, I think I still have to give it to the Love Triangle one, because I don't really care so much about the double jointed elbow on this figure. And she just seems skinnier, a little more fragile. I don't like the way her waist moves, the way her abdomen moves. I like the way the Love Triangle one does. So I'm going to give round 2 to the Love Triangle Jean Grey. Round 3 is about the accessories that these figures came with. And unless you want to count Wolverine and Cyclops as Jean Grey's accessories, the only actual accessory she came for herself is another Jean Grey head, which looks quite nice. You know, this is like the non-ponytail style of Jean Grey head. It actually looks quite nice. If I want to pop it off and go for the swap, it would look something like this. You know, and it still looks really good. Like, this is a great look for Jean Grey. The hair is a little heavy, I'll admit, but it still looks really good. I tend to go with the ponytail look just because, as I said, this head is a little heavy, but it still looks really neat. Like, it's not a bad look for Jean. So yeah, but this is her only accessory. Interestingly enough, the X-Men 97 Jean Grey comes with similar accessories. She has another head sculpt, and this is just another kind of like hair down Jean Grey. It looks pretty good, and if you want to swap it, it's very easy to just, you know, pull off the head. And you go for the swap, just looks like this. And I think I like this head better than the ponytail one. The only downside is because of the long hair, you know, going down, like her bangs and stuff. It kind of impedes her movement. But it's not a bad head sculpt. She does also have 2 other hands, and in kind of, I don't know, a different method than what normally happens. Normally it's 2 fists and 2 open hands. She comes with 2 open hands while she's sporting out of the package a fist. And like this hand, which I guess is like a telekinetic hand, telepathic hand. Maybe, you know, she's like reading someone's mind. Like, I'm not quite sure what this hand is supposed to be, because I feel like the open hands kind of give you the same effect. But just because this Jean Grey comes with the extra hands, I'm going to give her the accessory round. I also feel like this head fits a little better than the other Jean Grey head. It is a very heavy kind of head. So I'm going to give round 4 to my X-Men 97 Jean Grey. I believe I just referred to the last round as round 4, when this, in fact, is round 4, the price and availability round. So the overall price of the X-Men 97 Jean Grey, she's out now. You can find her in stores. You can get her online. You're looking at about $25 for this figure. And as of this recording, it seems that the Love Triangle Jean Grey sells from anywhere to $20 to $40, which isn't bad, but you got to kind of look out to get the good deal for her. So, you know, there is that. And because of just kind of the ease to find this Jean Grey right now, and I'm saying ease because you can get her online. It's been a while since I've really been hunting in toy stores. I don't know how easy it might be to find her in a store. But I'm going to give round 4 to X-Men 97 Jean Grey because she might be a little easier to track down. Who knows? Maybe you go to a Target or a Walmart, you know, just shopping for groceries. You pop by the toy aisle, you find this Jean. You're not going to find the Love Triangle Jean Grey on shelves right now. You have to get her online. And finally, my final round on this edition of Which is Better is the display compatibility round. Now, I tend to go for a more comic-style display. Honestly, the only reason why I kind of ended up getting this Jean is because I got everybody else in the X-Men 97 wave. I wasn't really sure I even wanted the X-Men 97 Jean Grey because I was happy with the Love Triangle one. And after really thinking about it, especially after putting this review together, I still think the Love Triangle one is better for my display. The X-Men 97 one looks a little cartoony. She looks a little small, quite honestly, and there are other features, factors, forms of this figure that don't look as pronounced as the Love Triangle one. And when I'm thinking of 90s comic books, I'm thinking about the way this Jean Grey figure looks and, you know, the Love Triangle one. And really, this is where my mind goes when I think of Jean Grey, not this X-Men 97 one. So Jean Grey from the Love Triangle pack wins round 5, my display compatibility award, and making her the champion of this display, or Which is Better video, with a score of 3-2. You know, for all her psychic powers, I have to wonder if Jean Grey knew who was going to win this version. But the Love Triangle one is the one that really sticks out for me. I'm not saying the new Jean Grey figure is bad. I'm just saying I think it's my least interesting, least exciting character to me when it comes to this X-Men 97 wave. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Were you excited for the X-Men 97 Jean Grey? Do you have the Love Triangle one? Are you sticking with it? Do you have the Rocket Raccoon Wave one, which is kind of like the Love Triangle one, just with not such great ball-jointed legs? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. And until next time, I've been Dan. You've been pretty awesome. I'll see you around.